We in the studio. We in the studio. With Rob in the studio. In the studio. In the studio. Catch a vibe in the studio. In the studio. We in the studio. With Rob in the studio. In the studio. We in the studio. Yeah, I'm in the studio with Rob. I need to make the heat flicker. Izzle on it, only thing can make a Rico beat sicker. So listen and get your wisdom. Gemstones on your head. Tub with the OG like Flintstones, good in bed. Been living a long time and he got something to say. Depending on how you feeling, dog, you might got something to pray. This type of influence that you ain't gotta filter through your liver. We in the studio with Rob. Come let the heat rock simmer.
Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of In the Studio with Rob. I am Rob, in case you didn't know.
They might not know.
And I am here with my man Izzle.
Here.
What's going on, young fella?
Feeling good, feeling great. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Life is good. I can't complain.
Always glad to hear it.
Yeah.
What you want to talk about this week?
You know, we on episode number 33 now.
33.
Yeah, it's a few out there, people, so if you didn't catch them, go back and check them all out. But episode 33, we're going to talk a little bit about working life. And the balance that you need to find.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's tough, but we're going to start on work a little bit, because I think that's tough for a lot of people too. Everybody want to balance. People talk about, I need to find, I need peace. I need, I work, stress me out. I got to find my peace. So I got to have peace in me. Let me share something with y'all. Y'all want peace? You better go to work. There ain't no peace with your job or without a job. Because when you are worried about your lights going off, when you are worried about your car being towed away, or somebody putting a note on your door saying you got 30 days before you need to vacate, you're going to wish you had a job.
It's not the most peaceful feeling, I would imagine.
Yeah. So don't be talking too much. I mean, look, the balance is fine. But it's the first part of that is work. You can't have a life. You're going to have a life. But there's no balance without work. You got to work. You got to have a job, people. And you need to go to work and do a good job. Don't just show up and be talking about, I need to take off tomorrow. You won't even do that when you're here and always want to take off. I'm trying to help y'all keep your job first so you can get to that balance part. Let me tell you something. Every job I ever had, I always tried to be the best person at the job. I tried to put forth, I want to be the best. I ain't trying to just do the job. I want to be the best at the job. I want to be better than everybody else doing the job. And what I've learned over time, now I didn't know this when I started working, but I've learned over time that when you become that dude at work, that woman at work, where they say, they're going to give us everything they got while they're here. They're going to give us even more. They're going to give it. When you need to take off, need to come in late, or whatever they can, they're more likely to give you that time. Because they already know you're giving them everything when you're there. So part of that work-life balance is going to work and working. Giving the people honest day's work for your money. Another thing you have to understand is that work provides the life that you want to live. I always tell people, I worked for the government for, 35 years, and I didn't work necessarily because I was in love with my job. I loved the money that they paid me in order to take care of my family. And that money that they paid me to take care of my family allowed me to take my family on vacations, allowed us to live in a nice house, and kids go to nice schools, and me to have a nice car, and my wife to have a nice. The money paid for that. That's the lifestyle. But the work, I had to go to work to get that. So I'm not wasn't always in love with everything I did on the job. Now, I've done some things that I'm proud of and I love, but I did it because I needed the money in order to have the lifestyle I wanted. So you have to understand, work provides those things for you. You also have to know that you have to learn how to separate your work from your home. And what I mean by that, I know a lot of people work from home nowadays, and I never liked that when I was working, because I like being out of the house, then coming back home, and I ain't thinking about work no more. I think for some people, it's different. They cool with it. But for me, I needed to separate that whole mindset of home versus work. I go to work, I'm giving you everything I got. But when I walk out that door, I ain't thinking about you no more. I had a phone, I had, the laptop, I had all the stuff they gave me to work away from the office. But I wasn't using it. When I went home, I ain't looking at the phone, I ain't opening up the laptop. I'm going home so that I can now spend time with my family. And I think the problem people have when they talk about the balance is that you don't shut off work when you go home. Or you don't turn off home when you go to work. And it's a little harder for home because you worry about things. But you got to focus on what, the separation, because you need that. When I used to tell people that my real job was at home. I come to work, yeah, I'm going to do this. But my real work was at home because that's where my heart was at. My heart was with my kids, was with my wife, and with the things that we were going to do. That was my real life. That was my real job. But I'm coming to work. I'm going to give y'all everything I got for here, but then I'm going home to deal with my real life. When I go home to deal with my real life, I can't be answering no phone from y'all. I can't be looking at no emails because somebody decided at 6 o'clock at night that's when they want to start sending emails out. Bruh, look, we used to get emails and I get back in the office, it'd be like some people sending emails out 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock. I'm like, first of all, if you up at 1 o'clock and you sending emails, you got some issues. Because if I'm up at 1 o'clock at night, I ain't thinking about no emails. I might be doing some stuff, but they ain't going to be sending no emails. And I'm not looking at your email. But people send out that stuff, and then, they give me, so-and-so sent an email out at 1 o'clock and it woke me up. Why? Why was your phone on? Why was it able to wake you up? Because for me, when I got back into the office, I opened up my computer, I opened up my email, I'm going to see their email, and I'll address it at that point. You can't wake me up at 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning. You can't wake me up with no email. I need to turn you off so that I can go home, enjoy my family, do what I got to do, and then come back and give you everything you need from me. You need to be able to separate those two. Don't take your work home with you. Even if you work from home, when you walk out of your office or wherever you work from, turn it off and then deal with your family. Because people keep talking about the balance, but you're the reason you don't have balance. Because you can't turn it off. Let work be work, let home be home. You got to be able to separate the two. Your work or the company that you work for, they don't operate around you and your family. They do what they do. And in fact, they don't even need you. The problem, this is funny because people think that they go to work and it's like, oh, I'm the only one in the office that can do that. I need this. Look, when I was working, people used to ask me all kind of questions, and I was great at what I did. I knew stuff that other people didn't know at certain times. However, what I learned a long time ago, and I learned this from, I was working in the office, and we had this one guy that did a lot of training. He should have retired. He had an opportunity to retire, and they wanted him to come in and give a training or start a new training class. He didn't retire. He taught the training class. These, I think like 8-week training classes or 3 months, something like that. But either way. So he did that. After that one, they asked him to do another one. And they asked him to do another one. Because he was so important. Had another training class coming up a couple of years later. The man went home Friday night, died in his kitchen. Monday morning, the training class was supposed to start. But the teacher, the guy we can't do without, dead. Monday, there was no training class. Because the trainer was dead.
And there was one on Tuesday.
Tuesday, there was a training class. But he was so important that he couldn't retire. So 2 years of his life that could have been spent with his family, his wife and his grandkids and whoever else he had in his life. 2 years that he could have, if he fished, doing fishing trips or whatever he liked to do. He could have been doing that for 2 years that he passed on it because they needed him so much. They needed him so much that the class that was supposed to start only missed one day. And that's probably because they didn't find out he died until Sunday night because they didn't have nobody prepared. You ain't that important, people. Stop thinking that you are so important that you can't step away from your job for a vacation or for whatever time you need for your family. Because they will replace you.
You are a number.
After I retired, when I was getting ready to retire, and I was thinking about all the things that I was doing and different, I had certain people would ask me questions and getting information. But when I walked out the door, the job continued. I just wasn't doing it. Somebody else moved into the seat and was doing it. And I'm sure they're doing a great job, or as well as it can be done. But nobody ain't worried about me no more, because I ain't there. People will take advantage of what you give them. And if you work or you act like you're the most important and you got to be there all the time, they're going to allow you to be there all the time because you make their life easier. When you leave, they're going to get somebody else. They may even get 2 people to do what you was doing because you were so much over the top. You got to be able to step away, take your daughter to her recital or go to the school and talk to the teachers or go to your kids' games or whatever it is that they vacation. Do all those things that you have to do for your balance. The job is not the problem where you say, well, they won't let me. It ain't them, it's you. Because you have this inflated ego that you are so important. And I'm not saying you don't do a great job, and I'm not saying what you do isn't needed. But I'm saying is they will get somebody else to do it if you're not there. So enjoy when you go to work, give them what you got. Give them and then you go home and you enjoy your family. And you give everything your family need, you give it to them. Because that's real life. That's what's important. Because those people are going to be the ones that's upset when you're not around. Not the job. The job going to be like, man, he was cool. He gave us a lot. All right, next. There's no next daddy. There's no next mommy. You are it. So you got to put in that work to be there at home and be present in the home life. You can't just, if you want balance, you have to establish the balance. Your job is not establishing balance for you. That company does not establish balance for your life. That company established the work that you have to do for them. That company established the time in which you have to work. The balance is on you. If you don't, if people say, well, my peace, I got to take off because I need to protect my peace. Okay. And I understand sometimes you need a mental health day. But if the job is so stressful where you can't enjoy your family, you need to start looking for another job. Don't let the job and the stress of the job come home with you. And I know it's easier said than done, but I've done it, so I know it can be done. I'm one of those people that, like I said, I shut it off. I've had deadline after deadline. I've done things that people are like, "Oh, how are we gonna get this done?" And I'm thinking, I don't know how I'm gonna get it done. But while I'm at work, I'm working to get it done. When I go home, I ain't thinking about it. And maybe that's what helped me accomplish the things. Because when I go back in the office, my mind is fresh. And I wasn't up tossing and turning all night trying to worry about what I'm going to do with this problem at work. So I can go into it with a fresh mind. You got to be able to let it go. Go enjoy your life, whatever your life entails when you get off. Enjoy it, forget about work. And then when you go back in with that fresh mind, you can see things a lot differently. Maybe you have a clearer outlook on things. Because you let it go. And again, you ain't that important, people. Stop acting or thinking you so important. They can't do without me. Yes, they can. And they will. It ain't your company. If it's your company, that's a little different. If it's your company, you won't have to work and you got to figure out how to make that happen with your company. Because that's if you don't make that work, y'all don't eat. So that's a little different. But when you work for somebody else, it ain't about you. You ain't that deep, man. Ain't nobody care about you for real. You have got to understand that your children, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever it is that you have that's important to you, they need to feel important by you. Meaning you are present when you're at home. I can't get off work, go to my son's or my daughter's games, events, or whatever they got going on, but yet I'm on the phone talking about work or trying to solve a problem, but I'm supposed to be watching and enjoying them. Instead of watching them on the stage, I go out in the hallway and talk about work. No, I got to be present for them. You have got to learn to be present for your family. Work will be there. When you get up in the morning and get into that office, it'll be right there waiting on you. Most of the stuff that people talk about and be like, oh, I was up all night. Most stuff wasn't no good anyway. I had plenty of people, bosses and all, tell me to be like, oh yeah, I was working on this last night and I got it done. I want you to check it out. Be like, yo, this sucked. Y'all should have went to sleep. It was that bad. You should have just went to sleep. You stayed up for nothing. You didn't spend time with your husband or your wife for nothing. Your kids you could have watched the movie with your kids instead of turning this junk in.
Hey, sidetrack. Side note. That actually happens to me a lot. Like, I be up late, and by the time I'm about to go to bed, I realize I didn't really do anything. I could have went to sleep a long time ago.
You could have went to sleep a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. Like, I ended up just up, and I'll just be up late for no reason. Anyway, continue on.
Think about the job?
No.
You just be up.
Yeah, just be up, like watching animal videos, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's just you just strange that way, but I get it. but for those people that actually stay up for work. But again, like I said, it ain't that deep, people. Your work fresh. Your mind needs to be fresh, first of all. That's one. I mean, people don't understand. Sleep is important. So you need to, when you talk about balance, you have to you go to work, you spend that time, you come home, you with your kid, and then you need to rest. Rest your mind. Turn it off. Stop thinking about work. Stop thinking about all the things that you really can't control anyway. Go to sleep. Wake up fresh with a fresh mind and renewed mind. And then look at the problem or the situation that you're dealing with freshly the next day and move forward. But don't get so consumed with your work and then blame the job or the company for you not having balance. You got people that don't even like taking vacation, but they always frustrated. If you ever notice, and I want y'all, look at this sometime when you go to work. For those people that got all these hours and you're like, they don't never take off. They probably some of the most miserable people in the office. Always complaining, always mad for no reason. It's because they're tired. They need to get away. They need to regroup. They need to find their own balance and not blame the job because they don't have no balance. Nobody's company can tell you you can't use the leave that you have. You've earned it. It's yours. Now, if you choose not to take it, they ain't upset. They don't care if you don't take it, of course. That's not their issue. But you can't blame them because you don't take it. But now, like I said, you frustrated. You frustrated at work. You're frustrated at home. Your wife, your kids, your husband, they all looking at you side-eye because you all miserable at home. You don't want to do nothing. They can't go on vacation or they going on vacation without you, but you miserable. Nobody want to be around you at work or at home. So where's your balance? It's balanced evenly. Everybody hates you. So find your balance, people. Look, home is most important. Your children, your wife, your husband, that's most important. Work provides for the lifestyle that you want to have. So you have to go to work and do a great job, and you should go to work and do a great job. But you're doing the job, the great job that you do, you're doing it so that you can enjoy your family. That's the balance that you got to keep in your mind, is that I'm not doing this because I just love work. Look, I never loved to work, but I've always worked. I don't love it. I did it because I needed money. I work for the government and I work for helping veterans. Noble profession, probably the best profession in the government. You helping other veterans. I'm a veteran, so I help other veterans get benefits and different things. Okay, great job. However, and I used to tell people this all the time when management you put out and be like, oh, we have the greatest, people talk about, I love this job, I'll do it for free. Not me. I love what I was doing, don't get me wrong, and I thought it was important, and I love helping people. I ain't doing it for free. I'm doing it so that you can pay me and I can take care of my family. The lifestyle. Stop lying to people. Tell you do something for free if you ain't gonna really do it for free. I do it because you pay me. And then I go enjoy my family, which I spend time with them for free. That's what I love, because I do that for free.
Yeah, speaking of which, I think you should start paying me for spending time with me, because I just feel like you're lucky. Like, you get to see me and stuff. And I feel like financial compensation is fair.
Yeah, okay.
So
I'll take that under
all the smiles. I can charge you for smiles.
I'll take that under advisement. Let me think about that. And,
okay, yeah, we're in the middle of a thing.
I'll get back to you.
What's up after?
But like I said, I spend time with most of my family for free. And enjoy spending time with most of them. So most of them, I'm just enjoying spending time with. One
of them is contract negotiations.
I can't say too much because we are in negotiations right now. So I gotta be careful how much I say. But y'all have to understand though, your family is your family is what you love. It's who you love, the people you love. And not to say you don't have people that work there, because if you spend time like I did, 30 plus years on a job, you meet some great people and you become friendly with them and friends with them. And so, yeah, they cool. But your family, that's free, babe. You got to enjoy them people. Look, I do that for free. I go to my son's games for free. I go to my daughter's games for free. That's all free. I go to the schools for free. I talk to their teachers for free. I whip their behind for free. That's because I love them. All that's free. I ain't doing none of that at work. I ain't doing nothing at work for free. Only thing I do for free at work is go to lunch. The rest of it, they got to pay me. So your balance, you find your balance. Your work, when we talk about work-life balance, people always, like I said, you always want to blame the job. It ain't the job, people, it's you. You don't got caught up in thinking the job was so important or more important than your family. So you lose, you out of balance. The job is important, but it's important. It's important because it gives you the lifestyle you want. That's why it's important. Your family is important because they give you the love and the nurturing that you want and that you need. More important than the job, but the job has a place, and you have to go at it, be your best at it. Don't be lazy. Don't take shortcuts and then be wondering why the job. Now you like, oh, they make it hard for me to have balance. That's because you don't do nothing at work. They like trying to get something out of you. You like, well, every time I ask to be off, they say no, or they got with me. That's because when you at work, you ain't giving them nothing. So they just trying to get something out of you. But if you're a great employee, you doing your thing, they'll let you. They have a little bit more leeway with you. I know I did with my employees anyway. They got, look, come in late, cool, because I knew they was gonna stay. They was gonna stay later, or they was gonna give me extra. They was gonna work hard while they was there. The ones that didn't, yo, man, you got to be on time, bro. You got to take your leave. You can't just show up when you want to because you a dud. And you can tell me about the work-life balance if you want, but the balance is off because of you. So put in that work, man. Put in that work. Go to work, grind, do your thing, but then know that you need vacation. You need to take time to spend with your children. And when you go home, shut off work. Shut it off. Leave your computer or your phone or whatever they gave you to keep track. Leave it alone. Turn it off until you go back to work. Only time my work phone was on is if I was on travel for them. Then I kept it on. Other than that, nah, I'm not even taking it home because I ain't looking at it. When I leave here, I'm going home to be with my family. So find your balance. Know that it's your job to find the balance. It's your job to make time for your family. It's your time to make time to exercise. It's your time to make time to relax. It's your job to do those things. It's not theirs. They just told you what time to be at work. So if you got to work 8 hours a day or even 10 hours a day and you off, whatever, then when you get off, you figure out how to manage your schedule better. But usually that's the problem. Y'all not managing your time well. Only thing that's managed well is the time that they mandate that you be at work. Manage your time better. And you'll appreciate being home with your family or being with whoever, your friends or whatever you got. If you ain't got no family, your friends, whatever. Or just being by yourself, reading a book, whatever you like to do. So with that, we want to check in with the people. And try to see what the people, if they got any questions or comments about this work and life balance. What's up, people?
So, how would you advise the people to handle situations where they're struggling to find that balance? Because sometimes one can win out. So either, work can be overwhelming to the point where that balance is off skewing towards work, or life can be a little overwhelming to the point where, that's bleeding over towards skewing the balance away from work.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is you have to understand what you can and can't accomplish or can't do. The problem is when things become overwhelming, it's because we put too much pressure on ourselves to do everything. Where I can't do everything and be everything for everybody. So for me, it was when I'm at work, and I have to focus on work. And I have to use the people around me at work to accomplish the goals of work. When I'm at home, I'm focusing on home only and not work. I'm only focused on home, and I'm trying to share and be what I need to be for the home. If I, like for me as dad, my job is not to be mommy. My job is to be dad. So I let mom be mom and I'll be dad. Now, if you got those where you are both, if you're a single parent, a little bit different, I get that, but you can still only be one of them. You either the mom or you the dad. If you ain't a man, you ain't the dad. I don't care what you. So therefore, you can only be the mom. Just be mom, and just focus on what you can control and what you can do, not what you think needs to be done. Because usually that's the problem. We keep thinking more needs to be done than needs to be done. Even at work, we do that. It's like, oh, we got to do this, and then if you really sat back, you're like, no, really, all I had to do was this. But because we keep putting more pressure and putting more things on our to-do list, we become overwhelmed. Sometimes you got to take things off of your list. And then you'll see that the pressure goes away and it comes down.
I know we're up against the time. I do have a hypothetical, if I may.
Yes, you may. Let's go with the hypothetical.
All right, so let's say you had a handsome oldest son and he finally figured out his worth and decided that all people should pay him for spending time with him. Mm-hmm. As his parent and someone who would subsequently be paying him for his time.
Right.
Enjoyment, smiles, laughter, all those things. What do you think a fair number would be?
And again, that's a fair number. That's one of them things where fair is what's fair to you versus what's fair to me. It's kind of,
sounds kind of crazy.
Not gonna lie. Yeah. And so what I like to do is, like I said, I like to just think about this hypothetical for a while and get back to you on a hypothetical and not just say what I believe a fair, because see, when you say share the smile, it's almost like I feel bad about having to pay for a smile that I gave. So it's kind of like I'm paying for a smile that I gave him. Is that?
No, I mean the smile that you get on your face from being with me.
No. But even that, the only reason I'm getting a smile on my face for being with you is because I put you here. So I'm struggling. So okay. I need some time.
I see what you mean.
Because I don't want to just come out and say no, even though that's what I'm going to say. But I want to think about it and at least let you think I might say, okay, a number. But I need to work on that in my own self.
Understood. You need time.
Yeah. So with that, people, we're gonna get up out of here now, and we got something that we ask you guys to do all the time. We're gonna ask you to do it again, and we want you to,
as you may have come to the end of your friend list, find some more friends, make some more friends, and then tell them, and then tell those friends to tell the friends that they have. And so on and so forth until all friends are told.
There you go. Tell your friends. And listen, like I always say, I'm cool with y'all watching these short clips, but listen to the whole thing.
Listen to the whole thing.
And see what you get out of it. And share the clips, though, on your own social media as well.
And he be talking so much. Man, he be talking for 45 minutes. See, y'all gonna watch a 37 clip to run the clip. Bruh, he's imparting so much knowledge for y'all. Stop wasting our time. Watch the clip.
There you go. Watch the clips. All right. So with that said, we about to bounce. So I appreciate you guys as always.
Thank you for joining us in the studio with Rob. He is Rob. I just look like him. Bye.
Peace.
Studio. We in the studio. With Rob in the studio. In the studio. Get to vibe in the studio. We in the studio. With Rob, we in the studio, we in the studio. catch a vibe.
Yeah, I'm in the studio with Rob. I need to make the heat flicker. Izzle on it, only thing can make a Rico beat sicker. So listen and get your wisdom. Gemstones on your head. Good with the OG like Flintstones, good in bed. Been living a long time and he got something to say. Depending on how you feeling, dog, you might got something to pray. This type of influences, you ain't gotta filter through your liver. We in the studio with Rob, gon' let the heat rock simmer.